First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to pay for my stepdaughter's wedding? I've been in my stepdaughter's life since she was 11. She was dealing with so much and was understandably mad at everyone, including me. She was dealing with chronic condition, her parents' separation, and leaving her family and friends after her mom moved to my hometown. My stepdaughter ended up with last-stage kidney failure. She was on dialysis for over 9 months. I stayed home with her, and I spent a lot of time with doctors trying to learn about different machines. She had many blood transfusions and was admitted to the hospital several times. Her mom wasn't there much because she had to work, so I was the one who stayed home and took care of her. It got too much for us. We decided that I'd be getting tests done to see if I could be a potential donor. And I was a match. I donated one of my kidneys in 2017, and thankfully, there were no problems after the surgery. Her recovery was complete a few months after because she had other issues. Her now fiancé proposed to her after she was discharged from the hospital, and they're getting married in February. She's 23 now, studies in an online college, and doing okay. Her mom and I don't share finances. My work nature is different, and I don't get money on a monthly salary. I own a truck that I used to make a living, but I'm capable of providing for the family. My stepdaughter stopped visiting. She used to call a lot. Call me dad and check on me a lot, but I heard that she's spending time with her bio dad and visiting him and his new wife, which is not a bad thing. But one time when she visited, she and her mom asked if I could help pay for her wedding, and I agreed. But my stepdaughter seemed distanced and no longer had heart-to-heart conversations with me. She talked to her mom, and her mom would talk to me. Turned out, she accepted her bio dad back in her life and said that no matter what happened, he's her dad. I respected her decision, but last night I argued with my wife after my stepdaughter told her to ask me not to come to her wedding because her bio dad will be there. I was confused. I asked why, and she said that her bio dad didn't want me there and she wanted him there. I felt awful. My wife told me to be more understanding, but I told her I won't be paying if I'm not allowed to come and should ask her real dad to pay. My wife acted shocked and said that this might ruin my relationship with her daughter. But her bio dad's opinion is more important, clearly. I refused to pay and told her I won't discuss it. My wife said my stepdaughter will be disappointed and I shouldn't punish her because of her bio dad, but I'm not. I couldn't take this treatment and be put last. From what I understand, her bio dad is actually contributing money to the wedding. My wife says that no matter what decision my stepdaughter makes, I needed to respect it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not saying her bio dad shouldn't be there, but they need to understand that I won't be paying towards the wedding if I'm not welcome there. Her bio dad clearly doesn't want me there, and my stepdaughter is listening to him for some reason. He and I never been on good terms. He's always been neglectful, especially during his daughter's illness. But he claimed that I'm the neglectful one, and my stepdaughter shouldn't be living with me. Now for the top comments. Not an a-hole. Wow, your stepdaughter is an ungrateful piece of work. You literally took the words out of my mouth. Not an a-hole. Your stepdaughter is destroying your relationship, not you. Point this out to your wife. Tell her she's free to make these decisions, but you've sacrificed enough to be in her life, and if she's this selfish, she's the one that will have to show she wants a relationship at this point. Opie has also sacrificed for her life. He has spent so much time caring and supporting her, even donating one of his kidneys. He had been there unconditionally. My wife said my stepdaughter will be disappointed and I shouldn't punish her because of her bio dad, but I'm not. Correct. Opie, you are not an a-hole. You should not give any money to the wedding when you are not being invited. Really sound like a good person. Sorry about all of this. Reddit here supports you. Not an a-hole at all. First off, I sympathize with you. You've given part of yourself both physically and mentally to her. You should absolutely be treated with more respect and human decency. Lastly, I agree with you completely. There's no way I'd pay or help pay for the wedding. I really don't see how your wife is in your corner on this. You're not good enough to attend, but your money's still fine? No way. You deserve better than that. I understand that part of her behavior is influenced by her bio dad. I'm not gonna lie, he is a bitter person and a grudge holder. He didn't want me there and is hiding behind her to get everyone to agree with her. I had a whole other answer until I reached the part about her asking you not to attend. Not a hole. I was a daddy's girl. My parents divorced when I was young and she remarried. I gave my poor stepfather hell for a few years because I was so close to my dad and felt like I was betraying him. As I grew up, my stepdad never gave up. He allowed me the time to grow and realize it was possible to love two father figures. When it came time for me to marry, I knew I wanted both my dads to escort me down the aisle. My dad was less than thrilled, but because he loved me more than he disliked my stepdad, he did it. Never did it cross my mind to exclude my stepfather. I'm so sorry your stepdaughter doesn't feel the same. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my stepdad to be father of the bride at my wedding? I'm 27 female. I'm getting married in May 2022. This has come up a few times and I'm starting to feel a little bad, so I wanted to see if others think I'm the a-hole or not. My dad died when I was 10. My mom met my stepdad when I was 12 and married him when I was 13. Full disclosure, I didn't exactly want her to get married, but I understood and respected and supported her right to be happy again. It was hard for me, and while I was always polite and civil to him, I never wanted to bond or develop a deeper relationship with him. For me, I felt that as long as I treat him with respect, that was all I needed to do. It upset them both a lot, but they accepted it because nobody could deny I was civil. It has only become a problem now that I'm getting married and didn't give him the father of the bride role at my wedding. They first asked about it when I mentioned needing them to pick a song to walk to their seats to at the ceremony. My stepdad asked, "What about me?" I told him I would be walking with my fiancé. He said he was expecting to do it, and I told him it was okay. Then they asked about the father/daughter dance, and I told them there was only going to be the first dance between me and my husband, but we could dance after. I then asked if they wanted to do a joint speech, separate speeches or something else. He said he wanted to be a more traditional father of the bride. I told him I understood he wanted that, but that wasn't going to be a role at my wedding. He asked why. I said my fiancé and I decided not to do it. Afterward, my mom told me that I might not love him or consider him a part of my family, but he is still a person with feelings and I should let him do this stuff for him. She told me it was never too late to embrace having another father in my life. I told her I did not want another father in my life, that I was happy with my life, but if it would make him happy, we could work out a dance at the wedding. She said it sounded like I didn't want it, and I said I was willing to do it to spare feelings, but I had already chosen not to do a specific spotlight dance with him. She told me they would be willing to pay for the wedding if that was the issue, and I said money wasn't the issue and we were fine paying for it. Apparently, my lack of enthusiasm means they rejected it, and yet they're still asking for him to have the role. I don't want him to have it. This isn't anything against him. It's a me thing. It was always a me thing, and I'm fine with that. I worked in therapy on this for several years to realize my boundaries and feelings are okay, and I have a healthy understanding of how I feel/where my mind is at. And now I'm wondering if I'm an a-hole or not. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You set your boundaries and they need to respect them. Stay firm. Indeed, and a fair reminder to them both that this is her day, not theirs. They need to remember that. Not the a-hole. It's your wedding, so you do as you please. It's nice that your stepdad would offer to do such things, but you set the limit and were even willing to compromise during the wedding reception. Your mother needs to remember and recognize that it's your day and should not press the issue any further. Exactly that. Unless, of course, her stepfather gave her a kidney, then she'd be an absolutely awful person. Not the a-hole except your mom. From your story, it seems like your stepdad asked fairly politely and didn't flip out at you when you said no and respected your wishes. You're allowed to say no, and your stepdad is allowed to be temporarily sad. Your mom became the a-hole when she tried to emotionally manipulate you into feeling guilty about not loving your stepdad, when it has nothing to do with it at all. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling off my friends for missing their engagement photo shoot over their roommate? So, I do photography as a side hobby for extra cash. Portrait shots, engagement sessions, weddings, etc. It's fun and I like what I do. 2 of my good friends got engaged last year and were wanting to do an engagement session, and I suggested when it snows, we should take advantage of that. They loved the idea, and I even went shopping with the soon-to-be bride to pick out an outfit to go well with the snowy background. We finally find out it was going to snow last night and this morning several days ago. Bride is my neighbor. Groom is not. Groom lives 15 minutes on really bad back roads that eyes over and are definitely not safe to drive in after snow. So I suggested he spend the night before. I don't want anyone getting hurt over photos. Groom and bride have slept together plenty of times, in both meanings of the word sleeping, so this isn't a problem of morality. Groom's roommate, though, is obsessed with their sex lives and purity. One time, he tore their living room apart in anger, all because the groom spent the night at bride's apartment. Groom has to sneak bride in after his roommate goes to bed, and out at 5 a.m. before he wakes up to prevent angering him. His roommate has all kinds of issues concerning his faith, and he pushes his issues onto the groom and will make life hell if groom doesn't follow roommate's morality code. I'm a Christian myself, but this guy's a lunatic. Over the past 6 months, our other friends and my boyfriend have suggested moving out or even crashing with them because everyone thinks groom's roommate is crazy and creepily controlling. But groom feels obligated to stay since roommate has no other real friends. Anyway, so groom was going to spend the night with bride. That was already discussed so that we can walk to each other in the snow and no one has to drive. I had everything set up and ready to go. I get a text this morning saying groom did not spend the night because he feared angering his roommate, and so we can't do the engagement photos because, as I predicted, the roads are iced over. I'm mad and basically told them off that they need to stop letting roommate control their lives, and that it's unhealthy as hell, and it isn't fair to me to go through lengths to plan a photo shoot and prepare equipment all to cancel 2 hours before by saying groom didn't spend the night as planned. I told them they better suggest something else because there's no way we'll ever do a snow shoot for them if they keep living in fear of roommate. They're upset and think I'm harsh. I think they need to get out of this toxic roommate situation and should have told me in advance that groom was never planning to stay the night because I knew if he didn't, I'd have known not to prepare since I know how bad the roads get. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Prepare yourself for a blizzard of not the a-hole. The groom legitimately needs an intervention to get him out of that arrangement and away from that roommate. You are all being way too polite about this. It goes beyond controlling. It's frankly scary. There is no reason under the sun, or storm clouds, that you should not have received a text in the evening saying the groom will not be staying at your neighbor's, and to prepare yourself for snow cancellation in the morning. Edit. I scratched out my first sentence because, to my great surprise, this is going to be more contentious than I imagined. To me, you are clearly not the a-hole. It would have been common courtesy for them to give you a heads up that plans had changed. If the boyfriend wasn't in touch with you, certainly the bride, your next-door neighbor, could have been. This whole thing is weird and gives credence to the often used cliché of no good deed. Yeah, if they even told me last night, I wouldn't be as upset. But like the morning off? They both knew he wouldn't be spending the night by last night, so they could have said something. My guess is maybe he thought he'd tried to drive. Not the a-hole, and I would not do the shoots for them anymore. Did you set a price or was it for free? Such a late cancellation means they still need to pay up a portion of the price because you have spent time preparing and could not get another booking. I was going to do it for free as a gift to them. No charge. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she was dating my bio father? So, my life turned into a bloody soap opera recently and I could use some outside opinions here. I, 24 female, am the product of my mom having an affair. Fortunately, my dad decided to forgive my mom and keep me, and I had a pretty good upbringing. But I don't really look a lot like the rest of my family. I'm the only redhead, among other things. And I did ask questions of a, why am I the only one with, insert trait here, nature growing up. When I was 17, my mom took me out for ice cream and introduced me to my bio father. She said that she felt I was old enough to know the truth and explained about her affair, while also, A, making me promise I wouldn't tell my older sister, 27 female in the present, and B, hammering home along with my bio father that he'd never be part of my life and didn't want me. It was a lot, I won't lie, but I learned to suck it up and move on with my life. Fast forward to the present. My big sister has always gravitated towards older men. We like to joke that it's the result of too many George Clooney movies growing up, and 2 months ago, shared a picture of herself and her new boyfriend. who, to my shock, turned out to be my bio father. I debated what to do for a couple of days, then ultimately decided she needed the truth and told her. My sister did not take it well and dumped him, but she wasn't angry with me. Honestly, by now, she's kinda amused. Says that since she banged at my dad, she's my mom and has extra power to boss me around now. My mom, on the other hand, is furious. She says I divulged something that wasn't my secret to share, and that I had no business telling anyone. That since bio father isn't related to my sister, it didn't matter if he dated my sister, and it wasn't like they were talking marriage anyway. It's been 2 months and she's still angry, still snide, calls me traitor and finds excuses to make loud comments about how I can't be trusted with anything private or important, so beware. At the time, I thought I was doing the right thing, but I've never seen my mom this angry before, and she sustained that anger for 2 solid months. So I'm starting to worry. Did I actually do something really horrible? Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. She needed to know that. That's weird and a little too close to home. Also, it's kind of messed up that your older sister was never told about this key part of her family history. Also, if your bio father knew who she was and her relationship to you, that's really weird and creepy. Thank you. I don't know if he knew. On the one hand, my sister doesn't exactly have a lot of family photos in her apartment. On the other hand, social media's a thing, and my sister's not trying to hide her family, so shrugs. Not the a-hole. Your mom is taking her feelings about herself out on you. Calls me traitor. She's the one who cheated on her family. I can't be trusted with anything private or important. Says the woman who couldn't be trusted to stay faithful to her marriage. It's weird and messed up that your mother wasn't the least bit icked out that her daughter's father was hooking up with her other daughter. Her feelings must be Category 4 hurricane right now. Not the a-hole. It's about your life. You can tell anyone you want. I don't know about that. That's a bit much. I wouldn't have told my sister if she wasn't dating him. Of course you can tell anyone that you want. You're an adult. Your mother is ashamed of having to bear any consequences, but that is part of life. Her anger is her problem. That just seems like stirring up things for the sake of stirring up things. I'm very lucky. My parents raised me the same as they did my sister. So for me, there's not much about my life different than if I wasn't an affair baby, outside of a different hair color and apparently needing to worry about my sister dating my father. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.
Update. Am I the a-hole? My fiancé is demanding I stop making home-cooked meals for my friend. Original post. I, 27 male, am very passionate about cooking. I'm not a professional chef by any means, but it's one of my favorite hobbies. I love the act of creating food, but sharing it is what's really special to me, whether it's something I've made or a nice meal at a restaurant. My girlfriend, 27 female, is pretty picky. She won't even touch the majority of the things I cook or split most meals at restaurants. And that's fine. It's the way she's been reacting to other people enjoying my food that bothers me. A good friend of mine, Jace, 34 male, is a truck driver. I don't get to see him as often as I'd like, but when he comes home, I always make it a point to feed him well. It's fun for me to plan. It's also really fulfilling in a way. It makes me feel this sense of warmth, making something for him. I know that being on the road so much can be tough, so when he's here, I want him to feel grounded and at peace. Basically, I'm giving this man all the comfort food. Jace is always so appreciative and makes jokes about coming home to his wife. He should be back home in just a few days, and I mentioned to my fiancé that I had a whole menu planned. She got upset and basically told me she didn't like how I went above and beyond for him. I've held my ground and said it's important to me, but her comments have started feeling a little less aimed at her own discomfort, and more so just derogatory toward me. Am I the a-hole for wanting to keep cooking for him? Now for the top comments before reading the update. It's probably not so much the food. It sounds like your girlfriend feels threatened by your relationship with the truck driver. To be honest, I kind of want to meet this truck driver after that write-up. He is very offline, or I'd get him to virtually introduce himself. He listens to a lot of YouTube while he's driving, but that's the extent of his social media use. It's enviable and makes me cut down on my doom scrolling. Trying to explain memes to him is humbling, lol. OP forgot to mention the truck driver eats these meals at OP's home in his painting room, possibly followed by Babylonian yogurt. Is there something non-food related you put this much energy into doing for your girlfriend? Planning dates, romantic evenings, things you know she likes? I know you enjoy making food for others, but have you taken the time to learn how your girlfriend feels most loved and appreciated? And then do or facilitated that for her? Do you have the same level of energy for helping your girlfriend feel grounded and at peace when she's had a rough day at work or in general? I appreciate this perspective. I hadn't thought about it this way. Because he's away from home and because he's so appreciative of what I do for him, I do put a lot of effort into it. I never looked at it as her needing the same from me after a long day of work, because it isn't equivalent to being away from home and creature comforts for weeks. Hot take: your love language is acts of service, specifically with food. Your girlfriend isn't into food. You have been feeding your own needs with serving your understandably grateful and very lucky trucker friend. What is your girlfriend's love language? What type of banquet could you offer her? Time doing puzzles together? Hikes? Art gallery? Paintball? Having a book and popcorn before bed? Find that. Match your meal prep energy there. Helping your friend isn't bad. Deciding to not put the same enthusiastic energy into what makes your girlfriend feel as taken care of as your friend, because it's not how you do it, is what's bad. You're not going to build him an art room, are you? Maybe it's the Iranian yogurt he uses in all his recipes. Now for the update. My girlfriend and I are currently on a break. I don't think I consciously realized it, but some part of me must have known how close we were to a breaking point. Otherwise, I don't think I would have written or posted my original question. I was making chicken breast for Jace on Friday. Whenever he gets back from a job, he'll go home and crash for a few hours. I like to time things so his meal is hot and ready when he wakes up. I had left the kitchen while it was cooking, and the oven was off when I came back. I asked my fiancée if she had done it, and she said yes. This resulted in easily the worst fight we've had. I ended up asking for the engagement ring back. This goes beyond me feeling unappreciated. This is her actively undermining something I'm passionate about. It feels like contempt. This is supposed to be a temporary break, but I really don't feel any sadness over not having seen or talked to her the past few days. I don't know where to go from here. A very big part of me just wants to be done. Is this an art room thing? I knew from the OG this would go the way of the art room, though this is more rugged. His friend is a truck driver. The dude jokingly refers to OP as his wife too. I had to take some time to read through this original post since it keeps getting referenced. I'm curious how you think this went the way of the art room. My girlfriend and I are taking a break because she hurt me. I have a good friend. There aren't even any similarities between my situation and what everyone keeps linking. I didn't leave her for another person. I was not cruel to her. I feel like my situation is being misrepresented for a cheap joke. I'm being mass downvoted for saying I don't appreciate jokes, insinuating I would cheat in my relationships. I have no interest engaging here further. It's not a cheap joke. The comparison is this. You have a close friend who is very important to you. You had a romantic partner who was less important to you. You engaged in behavior with the close friend your romantic partner found upsetting due to the greater intimacy and care you showed your friend than you showed your fiancé. You also speak about your friend with deep affection on par with how most people would discuss a romantic partner, and you referred to your ex using dismissive language that implied she was an inconvenience to you. By most people's standards, this would at very minimum emotional infidelity. Dropped from being referred to as fiancé to just girlfriend in 7 days. Not a good sign. It's the art room all over again. Can't a man simply make a succulent chicken dinner for his trucker friend? Can't a man simply want it to be hot and ready when his trucker friend wakes up? Look, just because the trucker friend wears Old Spice, has rock-hard abs, moans when he bends over to pick up stuff, and has deep, passionate eyes, does not mean that there is anything going on here. It's just bros taking care of bros, okay? Next story. Am I the a-hole for only giving my mom one more chance to show me she wants to be there for me and saying no emergency getting in the way will make me give her another chance? My parents got divorced 16 years ago. I, 17 female, was one. It was a messy breakup, and they still don't like being around each other. That's something I didn't figure out until I was older. My dad's still single, and it's just me and him. For the last 18 months, I've lived with him full-time. My mom's remarried. She married a guy with 4 kids who lost his wife. My mom decided she'd step up and mother them. But from what I see, his oldest, who's 6 months younger than me, gets the most attention and is prioritized more. It started out in small ways. Mom told me she'd have less time for me now, which I expected, and said things needed to be planned moving forward, because her attention had to be split 5 ways instead of me getting all of it. That wasn't easy, and Mom didn't really try to check on me. She expected me to be okay with it. But after a few months of spending less time with her, I noticed it wasn't just less. She was canceling plans with me because she was doing them with the oldest stepkid. She had us both in different activities and prioritized taking her stepdaughter to activities instead of me. She started staying to cheer her on or just to wait when no other parents stayed. I started going with friends, or my dad would come and take me. Then, when 2 things between us clashed, like I was in dance and had recitals and her stepdaughter played sports and had a game, Mom would always pick the game or whatever her stepdaughter had. I brought it up to Mom. She denied it for months, but then she was like, "I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. Please don't hate me and let's make this work." But then something would come up. One time, one stepkid broke a leg and was in the ER, and Mom needed to pick up another stepkid from somewhere. Another time, the rest of the kids were sick, and one needed to be picked up from something, and her husband was staying with the kids. Then it was that her husband's friend or something died, and she needed to stay with the kids. I can't tell you how many times someone was sick or someone died, and she couldn't work on our relationship. So I asked Mom why she didn't get someone else to take her stepdaughter and come support me, to show up for me. She asked if that would make it better, and I said it was a start. She said she would, and right up until I was supposed to leave, she never told me she was going with her stepdaughter. But she said next time it would be me. I missed my classes because I'd have been too late, with nobody close by enough to get me and take me. The next time for me never came. She did take me for milkshakes once or twice, but had to leave early for something stepkid related. When me and her stepdaughter each had something come up out of state, Mom prioritized her stepdaughter's event. My dad had to fight super hard to get Mom to agree to let him take me. She said I should be with the rest of them for her stepdaughter's thing and that I could miss one event. It was very last minute, and my dance teacher had to make an exception for me not being on the list to go by the deadline. When Mom realized how mad I was at her for it, she broke down and apologized. She told me I had 2 parents and her stepkids had lost their mom. I told her she still fought against Dad taking me, and she told me she wasn't thinking clearly. When I chose to live full-time with Dad, my mom acted like it was a huge surprise. She has attempted several times to make it up to me, but failed every time, mostly because her stepdaughter needed her, or some other emergency, illness, or death, or whatever came up. I know emergencies are when you need to be accommodating, but why do they always happen to me? Maybe they're not actual emergencies and just BS excuses. So a few months ago, I told Mom I was done. She begged me repeatedly to change my mind, even love-bombed me with so many gifts and I love yous, and all the things I'd have loved to hear over the years she was putting me last. In the end, I decided to give her one more chance. I told her I have a dance contest coming up and I want her to be there, and if she doesn't come for any reason, then it's over. It's local, so in theory, it should be easy. She said she'd be there, but now her mother-in-law is on hospice, and she told me she needed to let me know because she could go at any time. I told her my one last chance still stands. Because closer to the time, she could just say her stepkids needed her or her husband did, and the woman could still be alive. She's saying I'm being unfair. Dad said I didn't even need to give her one last chance. My mom's parents say I'm allowed to set boundaries if I want, and they won't be mad if I don't make exceptions for emergencies. But mom keeps saying I need to understand her mother-in-law is a big deal, and I just can't find it in me to care. Does that make me the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. She wouldn't be on her last chance if she hadn't so relentlessly chose other people over you. Everything seems to be more important to her than you are. You're right to keep your boundaries, and it's really pathetic that she can't manage to prioritize her only child. She's trying way too hard to impress her shiny new family. That's how it feels. Since I moved out, all plans were made by her and she still canceled them. But suddenly it's my fault for putting in a boundary of last chance, and there's zero wiggle room. I already know she won't be there. Something will come up. Not the a-hole. Be done with it. Sounds like she isn't worth the trouble at all. She sounds like more of a hassle than a benefit to your life. I would tell her, no, you've had your chances and you don't get another. You don't need her. She has proven that you aren't a priority, that your feelings don't matter to her. So why should hers matter to you? Failed you too much. I basically already am. I know she'll fail this time, and then if anyone ever gives me grief, I can say I gave her a good chance. An easy one too, and she couldn't even take it, so why should I keep trying? But do not push her too much to come. It should be a 100% voluntarily appearance of your mother, under her own free will, without reminders, or it does not count in my opinion. I won't remind her. This is all on her now. I just stated the boundary clearly so she knows how it'll be. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's wife she's not my bonus mom after I only brought mom wedding dress shopping with me? I'm 26 female and only child. My parents divorced during my senior year of high school. By the time I graduated, my dad had started dating his second wife. I'd met her once before. He told me he was bringing her, and I was like, okay, fine. She showed up way overdressed and attempted to overtake the whole event. She tried to interfere in the photos I had taken, tried to push my mom away from me in group photos, and it took me telling my dad that if he didn't stop her, they could just go home and not come to the party. A few times, she even tried to unlink mine and my mom's arms and take my mom's place next to me. She apologized to me a few days later, but mom later admitted that dad's wife had called and boasted about how much nicer her and dad's photos with me would look because I had two parents in them instead of one. She also tried to boast that I took more photos with her than with mom. But that wasn't true, and I didn't actually print any of the photos with her in them because she ticked me off so badly. After the whole situation, every time I saw my dad's wife, who became his wife a year after my graduation, she was overly nice to me and would get super eager to spend time with me whenever I mentioned I was going back to mom's. I stayed with mom when I was home for the holidays. She was always looking to spend time with me instead. I know from one of dad's friends that his wife always tries to get everyone to insult my mom. It's just so petty. She started calling herself my bonus mom and me her bonus daughter. I corrected her once or twice, but then I just started spending less time with her. As a result, my relationship with my dad has suffered. Recently, I went wedding dress shopping with my mom, and when dad's wife found out, she got super upset that I went with mom and not her. She asked me why I didn't want her to go and said, "That's what bonus moms are for." I told her she's not my bonus mom and never was. She's my dad's second wife and is no kind of mother figure to me, and she never will be with the way she treats my actual mother. My dad told me I took it too far and should apologize because even if she's been bitchy to my mom, she's been super welcoming to me. I told him that doesn't matter because she needs to know her place, and it's not as someone I care for. The more she tries to force her way in and push my mom out or outshine my mom, the worse she looks to me. He insisted that I still could have been a lot nicer. Am I the a-hole? So you were almost a grown-up when she came into the picture, and she just thinks she can magically swoop in and take on a motherly role in your life? Your dad's wife has a serious case of delulu, and I don't blame you for pulling back. She sounds like she tries to replace your mom in every way she can. Makes you wonder why she acts like your mom is such a threat to her. It's too bad that your relationship with your dad suffers from this, but honestly, that's on him and not you. If he is fine with his wife being overly pushy and kinda creepy, those are the consequences he'll have to live with. I was already 18 when I met her and never lived with her, so technically a grown-up I was. As for why she's like this, I don't really know, other than she seems jealous that she's the second wife. She tries to cling to this younger wife thing, but she's 3 years younger than Dad and only a year younger than my mom. Hilarious. I mean, also sad AF. She's not really a younger wife, she's just the second wife. A year is nothing. She could have been the same high school class as your mom, depending on when birthdays fell. I know, and that's something others have pointed out to her, including some of my dad's friends. Not the a-hole. Even if she was a saint to you and your mom, you still don't need to feel comfortable with her being your bonus mom. She didn't raise you, and has seemingly done nothing motherly with you. But are you going to invite her to the wedding? Because she's going to pull the same things she did at the graduation. This is going to be a thing at every event. I know it will, and honestly, I have some soul-searching to do after all of this. Dad won't come without her, but she's so annoying and inserts herself way too much for my liking. If your dad would miss your wedding because his wife can't behave, then let him. His loss. If he can't see how inappropriate she is, then maybe he doesn't need to come.